Welcome, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, everyone that is watching. The show is going out live today and being recorded, hopefully. Yesterday's show was put up this morning in the edited format, and live it was there. Somehow I forgot to hit record, or I think I hit record, but I think I hit it twice and it unlatched. So, live and learn. Live and learn. You're watching News with a View, a Fat Cat production. That's Fat Cat. You'll see that all up here later. That's fatcatproduction.com. Cat spelt with a K, all one word. I'm your host, John A. Costa. Today is July 9th, 2025, and this is episode 100. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yesterday was a very spirited show. I was happy with it. I think I hit all the talking points, and it was a good show. Today will be a spectacular show. All right. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. And I used to put this in the front, and I keep forgetting to do it, so I got to flip pages. Supreme Court gave Trump a huge win again. Appeals Court strikes down an FTC proposal. Texas doctor no longer employed after making an anti-Trump posting in Texas. Congressional Democrats push for a new watchdog to oversee Trump's White House. I'm going to get into that because that really annoys me. Another one that kind of annoys me is Representative Andy Barr wants to put a proposed amendment in the Constitution, and we'll get to that too. I don't think it's necessary, but we'll see what happens. All right. In an 8-1 decision, the Supreme Court to stay an injunction approved by two lower courts allows President Trump's administration to continue with plans to restructure federal agencies without required congressional authorization. Of course, Justice Jackson was the lone dissent, while her liberal colleagues, Stoudemire and Kagan, sided with the Trump administration's argument. Now, this is a huge win because now President Trump can lay off, fire, dismiss, remove federal employees in the executive branch. Now, this is interesting for a few reasons. Let me push this book back here. It's blocking me. I don't like it. And it's interesting for a couple of reasons, because what it does allow to do is have Trump have authority over the heads of those administrators who have to be approved by the Senate. Big controversy on who he's allowed to fire from that, but in the end, at the end of the day, those administrators work for Trump. And they could be going, hey, listen, I don't think we should lay these people off. I don't think there's a problem with the people here. And, I don't want to fire them. Okay. You don't want to do what I'm telling you to do? Out you go. And that's exactly how the system works. If those agencies say, hey, I don't want to go along with your plan. Um, as per the Supreme Court ruling of the Humphreys probate case, the problem, the Humphreys probate case, then when you read deeper into it, was a political conflict where this would be, you're not, you're not following my instructions. And I'm telling you, you have to reduce your staff by X amount of percent, and you're telling me no, well, then, it's not that you're not a game player. It's just you're refusing to do your job. So in that sense, these people could be, removed and have been removed. Top agency people, not when you have the Senate approve these people, then the laws say that only the Senate or the president, under certain circumstances, can remove them. This would hit those circumstances. And if you feel so so committed to saying, I don't think people should be laid off, I don't think this should happen, then you resign. Because if you fail to do what your boss tells you to do anywhere else, you're gone. So now, after 6 months of haggling, a little bit less than 6 months of haggling, he gets it. Now, this was one of the ones where I said the federal workers that weren't protected by the Senate, they're almost at will hires. And even under the collective bargaining and things like that, you're, hey, we're cutting it because it's costing us too much money. There you go. There you go. That's not at will, that's for cause. And they can have lists for what causes are, but under federal management rights, they get to call the shots. Like it or not, that's the way it works. So Trump can now go forward, and he will go forward. I would have liked to see it done a little bit differently. I would have liked to see, Trump going there. Goes, my goal is to reduce this by 60%, and I got the go ahead now to do this. I'm going to cut it by 15%, see how that works. 2 months later, I'm going to do another 15%. We'll see how that works. Or, 30% and then 30%, whatever it is, but it'd be done proportionately, not one big chop. Now, the reason he's doing it is one big chop. One, he's a businessman. He knows if I chop too much, I could always get people back. I could always get people back. But if I try doing it in layers, I'll get so much resistance from the opposition, which is Democrats, that they could jam everything up. And again, this was again the Democrats overplaying a very bad hand. Because now this is law. Now, this is also bad for the Republicans. Because one day there'll be a Democrat president. And that president will get all the rules. And no one can go, oh, you can't do that. No, he can do it. Now, you could try to find a precedent to take it to the Supreme Court to fight it under an action. But I'll tell you right now, that's going to be a long uphill push with a square block. Not even a round one, a square block. Good luck to you. Again, instead of working with the president with this, Democrats, you could have sat down with them and go, we understand. Now, Schumer initially tried to do that when he came out. He goes, listen, we realize there's waste in government, and we can go in and look at it. The problem is you can't trust the Democrats. They go in there, oh, no, and they block them, and you give them time to figure out a way how to do it. And Trump just goes, no. See, I tried to work with you guys before, and you screwed me. Not happening again. Not happening again. I'm just telling you that that's the way that's going to work. So, Trump is going, I'm doing it my way. And if I get stopped, I get stopped. But for now, I'm doing it my way. Don't like it? Sue me. How has that worked for you? So, big win. Big win for the Trump administration with this one. And, of course, Justice Jackson just digs herself deeper into her little cubbyhole as, just going, no, now I'm going to say no to everything. Now I'm going to say no to everything. And she's a good judge. She's allowed to have her dissent on this. And she's committed to what she believes in. But what she believes in might not be what the law says, and what the Constitution says, and what the power of the president says. And she wants to change it, that's fine. Resign and become a politician. There have been presidents that sat on the Supreme Court that then became president. Just so you know. It's been done. All right. We're done with that. That was almost 13 minutes of what I would say Bob would be ranting and saying, you're ranting. And thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bill, from South Carolina. Thank you, Bob, from New York, for reporting an outage. And I'm pretty sure, I'm going to check with Bob, that he might have been looking through Facebook and there was a dropout of the video as I was discussing a Supreme Court. It must have been Justice Ginsburg, because Bob left a very elegant message to me. Well written, beautifully thought out. And I thought it was very good. Still wrong, but beautifully written and beautifully put forth. So, Bob, nice try. But thank you for pointing that out. I think it's a Facebook problem between my YouTube link and so forth. I'm going to Rumble, and on Rumble, I'm John Fat Cat, FAJOHN FATKAT, and that's at rumble.com, and that's going to be where I'm going to eventually push everything to, and then they're going to pyramid it down and do whatever magic they do. And I'm putting some more stuff out, and I'm doing some shorts on YouTube. They're not very good, but you know, after 100 episodes now, I got enough material to push through it and make it look somewhat decent. All right, let me get to our second thing. Appeals courts strike down click to cancel rule. Now, this was a proposal by the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, to allow people on the internet to click, I cancel my subscription, click cancel me. And that would be it. You're canceled. They would have to acknowledge it and go through and do everything. Well, the click to cancel rule, the negative option rule, was to go into effect July 14th, forcing companies to make it easy for consumers to cancel enrollment in subscriptions and programs as it was for them to enroll in it. Now, I like this. This was a Biden FTC proposal through the Biden administration, and I agreed with this. It should be as simple to get out of these things than it was to get into them. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. That just makes sense. So, and as I said before, I didn't hate everything that Biden did. I didn't disagree with everything that Biden did. I don't agree with everything Donald Trump does. Because common sense is common sense. It's that simple. The rule had received pushback from various industry associations and individual businesses who filed legal challenges against it in October. They argued, we used to use this one all the time in labor, arbitrary and capricious. Under the Administrative Procedure Act, due to its scopes, and the FTC failed to follow procedural requirements under the FTC Act. So, what the argument was to the courts, that you didn't follow your own procedures, you didn't do enough of the legwork, you didn't administer the complaint and do everything that you should have been able to do. And you didn't. You just said, nope, we want this click rule, and that's it. Lena Khan, former FTC commissioner during the Biden administration, which was behind this potential ruling, blamed the Trump administration for dragging its feet on implementing it. It was first set to go into effect in May, and urged supporters of the rule to contact their local politicians. So she's saying it got there, and Trump didn't act on it. And it was what was called in the terms, it was slow walked. You'll hear that a lot. They go, well, I'm not saying I agree with you. I'm not saying I disagree with you. But I got to look at this. I got to go through it. And, there's some things in here, okay. But let me read the whole thing. And let me, I'll get back to you. And they slow walked it. And now the courts has tossed it out, claiming the industry didn't get enough of a say. So there wasn't enough, the court said, of rebuttal by the industry. They didn't go to enough of the industry. The people that complained, they didn't go to them. They didn't go and follow their own procedures. So Mark Meadow, who is the current FTC chair commissioner, blamed the Biden administration, saying it cut corners and didn't follow the law. And this is why it got pulled. So it was appealed by the industry, and when they were asking, hey, these people are complaining that they were never spoken to about it. They made the complaints, they filed it, they were part of the action. Did you ever speak to them? No. Well, what did you do? No, we didn't have to speak to them. We know that they didn't want it, and this is what we wanted. No. You know, if they didn't have a chance to say what they wanted to say and then have questions back and forth on that, well, yeah, Trump might have slow walked it, but you fast paced it. Can't do that. So I thought personally, I thought it was a good beginning to stop some of this stuff, because I've had instances where I tried to unsubscribe and you didn't hear back from them. They took another month's charge from you, boom, boom, and you ended up having to go to your credit card company, your bank and stuff, and try to stop it. I've had credit card, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. And I just turn around and I go, oh, you know what? I lost that card. And I don't want any charges that are coming through that card have to be reauthorized. So just don't blanket go, well, everything that's authorized through this card and we paid before, we're going to pay again. Nope. I'll get them to resubmit that, the people that I want. And that's the only way I was able to do it. So I understood where this was coming from. And personally, I'd like to see another one. If they need to speak to these people, if they need to work something out, do it. But now it's dead. It's gone. They could appeal the appeal. Not going to work. So, all right. I talked enough about that. Okay, Texas pediatrician no longer employed after post about pro-Trump flood victims. Now, this is ballsy. A pediatrician, Dr. Christina Probst, worked for a chain of clinics affiliated with a prominent Houston hospital system, is no longer employed there, according to officials who said she had posted on social media accounts wishing voters in a Donald Trump supporting county of Texas get what they voted for amid flash flooding that killed more than 100 people, including a majority of children. Now, I understand the freedom of, she could take that stance. She has the freedom to do that. The company has the freedom and liberty to fire you. There could be consequences for what you say. You can say it. You're not going to be arrested. But your employer, and mostly now employers all have that, you might find it on page 32 of your employment agreement, TOS, Terms of Services. And now personal terms of services, even for non-contractual people, uh, you can't post on social media like that. And again, this is why I tell everyone, man, if you're working, stay off of freaking social media or do it in such a way that they can't get back to you. But let me tell you this. If you post and you think, I'm going as Guy Incognito instead of John A. Costa. I set up a whole account as Guy Incognito. And I go as far as using a VPN through a incognito server where, one day I'm logged in Columbus, one day I'm logged in LA, one day I'm logged in over here. Yet I can get out into the internet and I can post up to, my Guy Incognito anti-Trump page. You can be found. Just so you know it. You could be found. And if she went up there and used her, I'm a doctor, or I'm this, or, blah, 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 they'll figure out who you are. And then that becomes a bad day for you. This is just stupid. I tell people all the time. I tell my children, stay off of social media. I wouldn't even post anything when I worked at CBS. Hey, here's a picture of my cat. I had a Facebook and stuff, and I just had it. I hardly posted to it. And anything I posted, before I posted, I actually went through HR. Hey, is this okay? And they came back finally, hey, stop. You're not doing anything crazy. Just don't talk about CBS. Don't talk about fellow employees. Don't talk about, anything else. You're a union leader. You could make union stuff, just don't reference it back in a bad light for CBS. And I never, my union said, you can't put anything up there with the union. The union has a web page, the union has a Facebook, the union has everything else. The union speaks to the union. You don't speak for the union. So, that was very strict and formal, and, you got to know where you could be held liable and stuff, and it's like, just don't bother. Don't bother. Yet, mind you, if I stood out on a street corner on a soapbox and did that, they couldn't do anything to you. Yeah. So it was very funny on how they could react. And this doctor, she's gone. And I'm certain that in her work agreement and everything else, she had said, you wouldn't do things to embarrass or defame or diminish the reputation of, or critique, or make a political statement. Another one that thinks she's entitled. I have my rights. I can do it. Yeah, you can do it. No one's saying you can't do it. Just understand there's consequences for what you do. Now, hit enter if you want, or don't. What a jerk. All right, this is the one. This is the one. Bob in New York. Get your beer cap ready. Because you'll be throwing it at me. Bob and I would sit on the couch in New York when Bob graciously allowed me to live at his home when I had sold my home, but I was still working, and there was a lag period. And Bob was, don't get an apartment, live with me. He had a big house, and it was wonderful. And Bob, thank you, can't tell you enough. But we would have political arguments. Of course, after about half a bottle of whiskey and 20 beers, I could tell you how that worked out. Yeah, I think Bob was the first one to throw a bottle cap. And then it became, anytime you said something, the bottle cap went, and then we stopped because we go, we got to pick these freaking things up the next day, or we'd step on them, or end up in bed. Oh, what the hell, he threw it on the couch. I fell asleep on the couch, and now it's in my neck. So we stopped doing that. But we all the time, we go, this bottle cap moment coming up. And we'd laugh, and you're stupid. Well, you're double stupid. Oh, not double stupid. So, but this is one where, I know Bob will take offense with. Congressional Democrats push for a new watchdog to oversee Trump's White House. Now, the headlining on that is deceiving, because Senate Democrats are planning to introduce a new legislation to create a new watchdog office to monitor the conduct and actions of President Trump's White House and future administrations. So this isn't a one-and-done deal. The bill, which was formally announced Wednesday by a group of congressional Democrats, require an inspector general to oversee the executive office of the president. The legislation has been attempted previously, but has new urgency according to the authors. Now, I'm going to stop right there, because this is the problem that the administrations have had. There is only one body that oversees the presidential actions. It's called Congress, the House of Representatives. They're the ones that go whether or not the president's doing their job according to the law. They're the only ones that can impeach a president or bring charges against a president. They are the watchdog. They are the guard dog. And now what has happened is the guard dog doesn't have a bark enough, it doesn't have a bite enough, and it doesn't like it. So we want to then go, I don't want to have a fence here around my guard dog. I want to put a guard dog unleashed in his office. Well, guess what, fellas? You can't do that. This was tried in the past for other presidents and rejected. But the new urgency, according to its authors, what new urgencies? You don't like Trump? He's getting things passed? He has uh, uh, the Congresses. You don't like that, do you? Oh, so we're taking him to the Supreme Court. But you know what? The Supreme Court's ruling in Trump's favor. Not because they're Democrats or Republicans. It's because it's under the Constitution. He can do that. And you hate that. And this is what I say. The Democrats are the biggest threat to democracy that we've seen. In my lifetime, in the last 15 years, Democrats' biggest threat to our democracy. And the idea of common sense has gone away from the Democrats. Just gone away. And that's the leadership of the Democrats. That's not all Democrats, but like Republicans, they click their heels and they lock together. Because if not, then you're an independent. Or you're John Fetterman and some other ones who go, no, what they're talking about, that makes sense. It's not political. It's common sense. It's what's allowed. So, guess who pushed this bill? Or at least is attempting to. Adam Schiff, who's sponsoring the bill. And he says, we're making it so that it does, regardless of who's in office. And Schiff said the Inspector General overseeing the White House and staff would ensure that no president or administration is above the law. Hey, you ass, that's your job. So you're telling me you can't do your job. Right? You're ineffective, Mr. Schiff. You are telling me that the Congress, under the Democrats, are ineffective. Oh, we're going to have a field day with you coming up in 2026, sir. You are an idiot, Senator Schiff. You think Americans are stupid. You think that Americans don't see what you're trying to do here. Let me tell you something, Adam Schiff. We see it. We know it. And we're going to expose it. And come 2026, the Democrats are going to be speechless. You even more speechless, there's going to be a lot less of you. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Democrats, moderate Democrats, common sense thinkers, independents, you must get the current bunch of Democrats that are there out of office. And if that means holding your nose and voting for a Republican, that's what you need to do. Unless there's a brand new, fresh Democrat there that has not been tainted. If there's a brand new Democrat, some guy decides to run locally that's been a Democrat, locally, and he goes, oh, this is wrong. This is what I want to do. I don't support those guys. I don't support the Republicans, but I certainly don't support those guys. They messed it all up or whatever. That's fine. Vote for that other guy. But if you keep voting in a Schiff, a Pelosi, a Waters, a Green, a Warren, a Wasserman, you guys keep putting them on the ticket, you're losing. How'd that blue wall turn out for you? That should be your best indicator of what America's thinking. And we are going to ramp it up past the boiling point. We are going to have bumper stickers if you want to be locked in your homes again. Bumper stickers on honk if you knew who made you get an experimental drug. Honk if you couldn't visit families during COVID because of the Democrats. Shirts. They almost put me in a camp because I said no thank you to the COVID shot. Vote Republican. And you might think, oh, the idiots, moron. You're so stupid. You're ignorant. We won, and we're going to win it again. And in 2026, when we win, and really, honestly take a supermajority, the only way you'll ever be relevant again is by cutting off those Democrats that made you irrelevant. There you go. That's this guy telling you how to fix your own broken party. We did it. We did it. It works. MAGA power. And I'm not a MAGA. I'm a Federalist. But I'm just telling you how that works. And Bob, you could sit there and say what you want. I love you. But all this stuff, this bill he wants, they already have it. It's called Congress. It's called Congress. And running like AOC and these and Al Green, impeach. People go, oh, this guy again? This is like the guy mumbling in the park all the time. Enough. Do your freaking job then. That's not your job. You know it's not going to pass. You know that it's without merit. And yet you do it anyway. Just so you're out there going, we're relevant. You're not. You're not relevant. You are not relevant. So, that is what's going on with that. Now, in another irrelevant move, this time from a Republican. Representative Andy Barr, Republican, Kentucky, has proposed a constitutional amendment to limit birthright citizenship. Why? Why? We already have it. That's done. We 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 already have that, Andy. It's called the Constitution. It's called the 14th Amendment. Why you're not going to be happy how the Supreme Court could rule it? You're telling me you have no faith then in the Supreme Court? It's another waste of time. It's like the idiot, I think, from Tennessee who, I want to make a proposal of a third term for President Donald Trump. I mean, like days, after he took office. Stop it. Stop it. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. Number one, Trump can't run a third term. It's great when he says it. It's great when I say it online and I go, yeah, third term President Trump, yay, it's a dog whistle. And you all get, no, he'll never, we'll do the, and I go, it's never going to happen. Look at you. Look how easy it is to distract you. And you don't understand it. And there are things that distract us too, but distract us in a different manner because we'll just go, well, we'll take it to the Supreme Court. We know we're going to win it. So you want to think you're going to slow us down a little bit? We'll just keep churning it out to the Supreme Court, and then when we win it, then that's written in stone. And you want to unwrite it? Good luck to you. You tell me how that works out for you. See you in 50 years. You're playing a bad hand. And you're going all in knowing that the other team, the other player knows, hey, I know you don't got it. And you're fishing for one card out of 52, and I got it in my hand. And yet you're willing to go all in thinking that that's going to work. So, Andy Barr wants to change the Constitution because he says it's ambiguous. No, Andy, it's not. Because if you read the 14th Amendment and its intent, it's not ambiguous. It's ambiguous to a casual observer of the Constitution to go, well, that's what it says. Let's see what they meant by that. And I use the reference all the time because it was a good reference. Bill Clinton. What does it mean? Well, it means that over there, but inside the context of the law, it can mean something totally different. So let's look at what that intent was. This is all legal mumbo jumbo, but that's what we live under. That's what we live under. So, Andy, if the Supreme Court were to say, nope, everyone that's born here gets it, then you can try to change it because, number one, then the Supreme Court, then it's not ambiguous. It's been ruled on. And you want to make a change so it says now this. It is no longer ambiguous. The Supreme Court rules on it. As the words are spoken, the deed is done. That's how our system works. You can't appeal a Supreme Court ruling. You could ask them at some point in time to revisit it, and they could turn around and go, no, we're not revisiting it. We're not doing it. Yeah, we're pretty happy the way it is. And then you have to go through the whole petition process. And again, when it gets up there, they go, no, we're not going to hear it. They can do that. They have done that. Not going to hear it. So, I understand where people look at it and they go, no, it says, that's what it says. No, you got to look deeper in it and look at the meaning of it. Look at the meaning of it. And, you could have a Supreme Court that turns around and goes, yeah, we know that, and that. We don't see it that way. We are seeing it that anyone that was here and got born here, whether or not their parents were legal, illegal, blah, 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 you become a citizen. That's how we see it. That can happen. And I would not be happy with that, but I certainly, I would certainly not be happy with it, but I wouldn't go, oh my God, that's a word. No, they came up with a ruling. All right. That's what you dealt with, so now you got to play that hand. That's all. Not the end of the world. And that's the difference. Reasonable. Common sense. It's not that hard of a grip to get hold of. All right. I'm coming up on an hour mark here. Again, this show will go up later today. The live show is up there in a matter of minutes. So there is a live show. And what I'm going to be doing is almost every day that I do a record show, I'm going to do a live show. The only problem is with the live show, I can't go in there and edit it again if I made a major mistake and want to really touch it up. Got to wait 24 hours. It's just the way it goes. Now, on my record side, I could say, hey, if you're looking at the live and you're screaming at me or something, I fixed it over here, I acknowledged it, or whatever. And when you do find something that you take, you take a difference of an opinion, or you go, hey, you're absolutely wrong. You are wrong. Here's what I have here, or you need to look here and see what it says there. I'm all for that. I have no problems being corrected, except from Bob. But other than that, I have no problems being corrected or shown, or someone going, well, did you think about it this way? And no, I did not think about it this way. And now that I'm thinking about it, I could see where your thinking is. And now, but this is how I would counter that and go from there. And did you think about this? And, that's how you have discussions. That is the normal way things should be done. It's not 51-49, and if you get me to 51, I have to be convinced of something. But if I have all the facts, then I can make my own conclusions. But if I didn't have all the facts, or my facts were wrong, and I go, hold it, oh, all right, I didn't know that. Oh, this puts a different spin on it now. I'm open to that. So, all right, everyone. You know what I always say? Give to a charity. Make sure it's a bona fide charity. You go to that charity. They don't come to you. Don't become a victim helping a victim. If you can't do that, or you're not comfortable doing that, give to a local food bank 4 cans. Buy SpaghettiOs, buy beans, buy, you know, mostly if they say buy one, get one free, you were going to buy it anyway. So buy a couple of those things like that. You know, buy everything you can, buy one, get one free. And then you take that free one and you give it to them. You know, it's just not food bank. They need toilet paper. They need feminine products. They need baby products. They need. And you know, I believe that, hey, you know, the able-bodied should be able to do stuff. Yes. Yes, that's a fact. But because they're able-bodied, they might not be able-minded. There might be something going on. Drugs, alcohol. And yes, that's their own fault. Yeah. You know, I stepped off a curb. I should have looked at the curb. I didn't. I fell. Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah, I mean, stop and look at the circumstances of the individual or individuals. So a food bank is a great way because it's local and it gets out to the people in your community that needs help. That need help. People in Texas need help. The compassion, I mean, just get past everything. Get past, you know, get past that. Get past, you know, oh, who am I helping? No, you just want to help. That's what you want to do. So if one of your churches like Samaritan, they might be sending help out to Texas, North Carolina, places that are still hurting. Do it. Prayer. Say a prayer. Prayer works. Okay. With that, I'm going to say good night. I'm going to fade to black. I'm going to see everyone later. I might do a show later today. But with that, I'm going to fade to black.